Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
Sure. My name is Mallory Ottariano. I live in Lola, Montana, and I run a company called Ewer, which is based in Missoula, Montana. And we are a clothing brand for really quirky, original individuals. We make very colorful, fun stuff for people who identify as women. And we have our own factory here in Montana, and we're very passionate about U.S. supply chains.
Awesome. So how did you get the idea for this company?
I've always been very interested in style and fashion, and it was a huge piece of my life growing up. It was always a way that I expressed myself and a tool that I used. And I went to art school and I studied design. And then after school, I didn't have a very creative job, so I needed a creative outlet. And I opened up an Etsy shop because a lot of my friends from art school were doing that. And I felt like that was going to be a way that I could guarantee that I would have some sort of creativity infused into my day every day. So I opened up my Etsy shop and started going to thrift stores to find clothes to cut up and make into new, fun, one-of-a-kind clothes. And that was in 2012. And it's just been like a very steady journey since. It was not supposed to be a business. It was just something to keep my brain engaged and interested. And then more and more people bought stuff. And then it turned into this whole different imagination.
For sure. So I guess as of today, are you still taking clothing from thrift stores? Are you making all your clothing customized? What does that look like in terms of how you best serve your customers?
Yeah. So we don't use any thrifted fabrics anymore. That was not scalable. But today we're a team of 8. And we're a 7-figure business, and we custom mill our own fabrics. So we work with mills to create things that we need to fill our customers' needs, essentially. And we do very small batch stuff. So we never really make more than a couple thousand of something, but usually we're making 300 to 500 of anything. And we use sustainable fabrics whenever possible. So we're very focused on bio nylons and all recycled plastic polyesters. So that's a big piece of our brand. But our big thing is prints. So I design all of our graphics. And so we are custom milling our fabrics, but then we're really customizing our fabrics with our unique prints.
For sure. So is your business mostly e-commerce or retail? I guess where are most of your customers located?
We are mostly e-com. We're 90-10 e-com to B2B. We sell to about a dozen stores across the US, but our customer base is very heavily focused in the Western US and Alaska. Alaska is our largest customer base. And we've Alaska, Montana, Colorado, Washington, Oregon, Utah, kind of that general population.
For sure. So you kind of mentioned that your ideal customer is women, but I guess what do women in that part of the country have in common that really resonate with your brand?
Our deal is flexible clothing that looks professional. So that was the whole inspiration behind the brand. Really, we live in a mountain town, and you can go from the city center up to the top of a mountain in a matter of minutes. So it's a way of life here. We get dressed in the morning to go to work, but at lunch we might go on a trail run with friends, and everybody in this community needs clothes that can kind of do it all, but doesn't look like you just walked out of an REI store with zip-off hiking pants. So our clothes really fill that need. I'm wearing a blazer right now, but it's made of legging fabric. It's extremely stretchy. So we kind of create these pieces that fool you into thinking that they're really professional, but they're actually made in an extremely technical activewear way.
For sure. So in terms of getting in front of your customers now, do you run Facebook ads, Google ads? What do you do to actually get in front of your current customer base and to actually scale your current business?
Well, we have actually never spent a penny on advertising. We don't do any paid ads. It's all through content. We make a lot of videos, and we put a lot of videos on Instagram and TikTok. And we leverage that relationship to our email marketing through Klaviyo and have those few touch points with our customers, but it's heavily social media focused. We do some events too. We'll go to marathon expos or yoga festivals or lots of outdoor events and races and things.
But is it influencers, or I guess what kind of content are you putting out there to get in front of your audience or even new customers?
It's mostly our own content. I shoot all of our content. And I do a lot of supply chain education videos. So I like do a lot of cost breakdowns about how much it costs to make stuff in the US, because that's a very unique thing about what we do. And just have sort of like glorified the supply chain in a fun way and an educational way for people. So it's just through organic reach, like posting things to our page and hoping that they go viral or hoping they get in front of the right people, and then translating those new eyes into our email list.
What has been like the best channel for you?
Instagram, for sure.
Instagram.
We've had some fun moments on TikTok, like some very explosive viral moments, but it's not, in the last 2 years have been very quiet on there. But we definitely had some very interesting experiences on there that got us into some big media, and that was pretty fun.
So in terms of talking about supply chains, like you also have been talking about more of this kind of ethical manufacturing, like here in the States compared to overseas, where you kind of know exactly, you could say, who's making your product, as opposed to overseas where you might have China, some of the challenges over there. I guess, like, what are you actually focused on and relaying this message to your customers?
All of it comes down to price point. Our stuff is not cheap, and it is a lot more expensive than what you might find at a mall store. And so the goal is to create the customer that we want and need. And by doing that, we have to justify our price by working backwards a little bit. So if somebody lands on our site and sees a blazer that costs $230, they might be like, why is this $230? So we want to deliver them that information immediately so that they gravitate towards the story. They understand all of the components in it. They understand and maybe even get to know some of the people who have made the blazer. And then by the time they're done with that educational process, $230 seems like an amazing deal for all of the amazing things that you're supporting with your purchase.
For sure. So what would you say is like the biggest challenge that you face in your business today?
People, for sure. As we grow, we've brought production in-house over the last year. We make about 50% of our stuff in-house now, and the rest is made in Los Angeles. And that's a very new thing for us. And building a sewing team in a very small town has been really, really tricky. Our city is the second largest in the state, and it has 70,000 people in it. So Montana is so small and so isolated, and there's no industrial sewing industry here. So we're creating one, and that's been really tricky to try and train people and retain people and get people to show up to work. And I'm still responsible for 100% of marketing and 100% of sales. And then when I'm also responsible for managing a team of 8 people, that just becomes like, it's a lot. It's kind of, it's a lot to manage. I would say that's kind of my biggest balance challenge.
Have you like brought people in from out of states and moved to your town, or is it more just like finding people in your town and training them to learn those skills?
We have had people move from out of state to work with us. We have trained some local people. We have found some local people with extremely incredible talent. But yeah, we've done a whole range of different things. We've had people move from out of town, out of state, out of country. Yeah.
For sure. So obviously now we just wrapped up Q1 of 2024. So for this year to be successful for you, like, what are some of your biggest objectives for your business?
Well, we want to be in a position by the end of the year to be making 100% of our product in-house in 2025. So we have some pretty serious manufacturing goals for the year. Our main goal is growth from an kind of invisible standpoint. We're focusing on like the roots of the tree right now and having good stability in our production. We've had so many challenges and financial losses with our contracted manufacturers. So our big goal is remaining and getting very profitable in our current operation. We have a lot of equipment that we've purchased that isn't operational yet because we don't have the people to run it. So we're investing in a lot of training and mechanical systems to be able to get those running. So that's like our main goal. And then, of course, we have our sales goals that have to coincide with that too. But we release product every single month. So we have these like very fun themed drops once a month. And we're hoping to just kind of leverage our reach with that and be a little bit more inventory lean than we have been.
Makes sense. So obviously nowadays, many companies are using high level technology like AI. So do you guys currently use AI? And if not, what could AI maybe come in and add value to your business?
We have a little bit. Sometimes we use a little bit of AI in our email writing and stuff like that, but not a ton. The main area in which we have used AI, and we'll probably bring it back, is in production. We've used a tool that tracks all of our timing and all of our handling at all of our stations. And that has been really key in helping us become more efficient and cost properly and like become more profitable. So basically a device is just sitting on every machine and it's recognizing the movement patterns and the timing of the sewer handling everything. And that's been incredibly helpful. Our team got a little slim, so it wasn't really the right investment for the size of the team for the last couple of months, but we'll probably bring that back because that is an enormously helpful tool.
Have you thought about AI for like customer service to explain your story that you kind of explained to me to your potential customers who land like on your website, for example?
We have not. We feel really strongly about like human to human customer service because every single relationship in our customer service realm is like very unique and very different. And we have one person whose job it is to just exclusively deal with that relationship. And it's really benefited us. It's a big investment, but I think that that is where we will probably stick.
For sure. So what would you say is like the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before you started this business?
Oh gosh, that I wish I knew. Sometimes I am glad that I didn't know a lot of stuff, to be honest, because I think if I had known some of the challenges that I would have or some of the paths that I would take, I might not have done it. I think that I wish I knew that, or wish that I more fully believed that nothing happens overnight. Like I've been doing this for 12 years. And at the very beginning, it felt so slow. Like, you see in tech and all of these companies just explosively grow. And I would look at that and feel really envious and feel like I wasn't doing enough or I wasn't going to get to where I needed to be. But I think I wish that I could have just reminded myself on a daily basis that like slow, sustainable growth is totally normal. And everything that looks like it's exploding has had like a whole understory to get to there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's like a very common theme here is that like things always take a lot longer than you think. It's a lot of persistence, patience, being very resilient. So if we're going to have this conversation again, 1 year from now, where do you see things going for your business?
Where do I see things going? Well, I hope that we have some more stability in our team. We've had a lot of fluctuations, a lot of hiring and firing has happened over the last year. And I would really love to see a core team sticking around for a lot longer so we could begin to build that. I would like to see more independent management pods in my team, so I'm not responsible for so much. I'd like to get my name out of some of these boxes that I'm in on our organizational chart. I think that is really important and key to us growing because it's humanly impossible to do everything. And I really want us to be at this tipping point where all of our equipment that we own is operational and functioning and we have people on them and we're able to make all of our stuff here.
So somebody watching this wanted to reach out to you. Do you mind sharing your website or social media? I guess best ways to get in contact.
Yeah, Instagram is an awesome way to reach out. I manage that channel, so it's usually me behind there. Sometimes our customer service gal, Olivia, will be on there. But our handle there is ShopYouer, like you're going shopping, and YOUER is how you spell the brand. And our website is shopyouer.com. We're ShopYouer on all social channels, and you can totally reach out.
Awesome. Yeah. Mallory, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dan. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
See ya.